Hey everyone, this is Shane Mahabir, president of Funder Intel. And in today's video, I have a guest. He's a loan broker. He's based in California. He's James Jones. He's a partner of Entre Funding. So James, appreciate you being on.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. So what we're going to talk about in this video is, what James has been up to before finding Funder Intel, what he thought about when he found our site and why he decided to take our loan broker training course, some of his thoughts on the course, and then, how things are going for him now. So, James, let's get right into it. So, what were you doing before you found Funder Intel?
So I was in that space for a little while. Like I said, let's say I started 2020, by August 2020, I purchased a very well-known, I purchased from a very well-known company, their loan broker product, in the tune of 5 figures. And still with all that information and the classes that we took, I just felt left out. One, I took the class virtually, right?
Sure.
So I did take that class virtually. And typically with that, you have to fly out to their facilities and take the course. But because of the pandemic, it was virtual. We did that for 5 days, and I just walked away not really knowing anything, right? It's like a lot of information at one time, but the components I needed is to understand what I was getting into, right?
Okay.
And before that, I'll take a couple steps back. Before that, I was in business consulting. So what I would do with small business owners is start them from beginning to end, understanding how to structure their businesses, why to structure their businesses, and how to structure away from their personal credit. So we had a consulting and marketing arm with a business credit foundation, right? Or education foundation.
Okay.
And what was going on is I'd consistently been coming in touch with these guys who are in this space saying, hey, we can help your business owners. We can get them an MCA loan, or we can get them this loan or that loan or short-term loan. And I always thought those loans were more harmful than helpful. And I got a chance to kind of dive in. There was a guy who actually worked for one of the guys. There was a company out there, Lincred. He was good friends with a guy named Mike there. He introduced us. We had a little bit of a conversation. He had come out of that particular company that I purchased from. Mm-hmm. And they raved about it. They taught me a little bit about how these short-term loans work, because again, I had come from a traditional platform into now I was looking at the alternative platforms, and those are 2 different animals.
So that was, when you say traditional, that's kind of bank loans or bank lines of credit.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, yes. I'd start off an appraiser first, went to work for a bank, worked there for a while, left and opened up my own shop. Okay. But when I worked for that bank, what we did is we only underwrote traditional loans, right? Mm-hmm. It's 2 different animals, like I said, with alternative and coming from that traditional market. So as he gave me the information, I started to see, oh, that's how this works. This is how this can help my clients, right? Mm-hmm. And I was farming it out. But when you're farming information out to other loan brokers, what I quickly learned that it's better to have that in-house, because you just never know that. Loan brokers, they were saying, oh yeah, we can get you any loan you need, but we need an upfront fee. It's going to cost you, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. I had one guy charging $10,000
upfront before anything's closed.
Upfront. My client called me and said, hey, the guy wants $10,000. What do you think? I said, I think you're not going to pay him $10,000.
Correct.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
So I got a little frustrated, and I said, listen, the best thing for me to do is to get in this space myself, get the education myself. And then it's free for an application. Why would we charge anyone upfront for an application? It's free to take an application. Mm-hmm. That's what I tell all my clients now. It's free to take an application. It's free for you to find out what's going on. It doesn't cost you anything to find out, not even an inquiry in most cases. So why not? So that's
Yeah,
just
in
how
some
I got
cases,
into it.
yeah, in some states, it's when you're talking about specific, either MCA or certain other loan products, it's illegal.
Yeah,
And, it's against the law to charge fees before loans close. So there's
yeah,
things that everyone has to look at in the different states, to make
right,
sure. Yeah. Okay.
right. And even if it's not, right, I just find it to be a little, off kilter
Sure.
when you want to charge someone to take an application. You're gonna get your commissions from the funder. Why not just help the client? And the more clients you help, the more referrals you get back from that client. Typically.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
typically.
Yeah. No, you're right. I totally agree. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're getting your feet wet into, the MCA or alternative finance world after your traditional world. So then
Mm-hmm.
you took the broker, training program, and you're kind of going along and you searching on the web, and you found us somehow.
Yeah. So I took that training. Like I said, I just felt lost. We dove into PPP really tough. The company started us off on their platform and then shut their platform down. I mean, PPP was ridiculous. And for it to be my first dive into, this industry,
Right.
it was probably the worst thing I could have did at the time. But I was telling Scott this yesterday because he asked, and I said, listen, we got into PPP. We did over 2,300 applications. We didn't charge anyone a dime for it, right? Because that was the atmosphere. And then you don't know how much blowback I got from people around me who were saying, oh, you're supposed to charge, at least 5%. I'm like, I'm not charging these guys anything because we had what I call supplemental income from the company that we work with. They were already paying us per loan themselves, right, through the SBA. So all we were doing is facilitating the documentation. Why not do that?
Right.
So we spent good 3-4 months doing that. And then after that, it took maybe a month and a half or two before SBA started paying us for each application, which was really good.
Okay.
But after that, I was like, okay, what do we do? What do we do now, right? Because we need to get into the space that we actually were getting into. And I just couldn't get back in touch with that company that I purchased from. Like I said, it was in the tune of 5 figures, but for them it was a low 5 figures, right? It's like their base plan. So all it came with was a large lender book, a pat on the back, and hope everything's okay, and call us if you need us. But when you made that call, it's like, well, why don't you just come out here and go through training again? Because you study virtually, and we feel like everyone who studied virtually got robbed. Wow. But you didn't feel that way when you're taking my money, right?
Correct.
So long story short, I just started kind of diving in and trying to figure it out myself, right? And I came across you guys coming forward. I talked to BLB. They wanted us to do some things with them, and your listing was right there and just said funder intel. I was like, what is this? And I clicked it, and I just immediately started getting all this information. I went to the provider list almost right off top, right? Okay. So I clicked the provider list, and I was like, this can't be real, right? And then I'm seeing MCA, short term, this, that. It's like, this is not real. And then I clicked the loan broker training. Okay. And I was like, let me just see what this is. Click. And when I did that and I saw $79, I was like, no way. This isn't real. There's no way. And
there's got to be some trick or something behind it.
It just didn't seem real, right? Yeah. Because of the slap in my face for myself, right? Was like, I'm getting way more information. Before I ever took the class, I had valuable information right in front of me already. Like from the gate, I had this.
You mean on our site, the first couple of pages, right?
On your site, yes, just on the front page, just right there.
Yep.
So when I clicked on to take the class, I got an email back and they're like, hey, this is what you have to do. And I was like, okay, no problem. $79, let's go, right? And I took that class in the night. I went the next day, I went back through it. I woke my wife up. I was like, you have no idea how much information I have right now. Sitting in front of me, this is ridiculous, right? I felt, man, I was just really in a good space at that time, at that point. And I've been in that great space because now I have way more knowledge than I had just paying these guys that lump of money to join something that I'm really not a part of. With you guys, I feel a part of the group, you know what I mean? And that's what's been great for us. Yeah.
That's great to hear. No, and I appreciate that. And I'm not, I'm not paying you to say any of this. I
No,
think
they're not paying me at all.
No, of course, of course, I'm totally kidding.
But I can send you a bill.
Yeah. No, letting the audience know, me and James just started talking after he, took the course, and I was happy to hear, again, I mean, I kind of mentioned to you that, right, we want to make sure people are, it's kind of an under promise, over deliver type of thing, right? We'll keep on adding to it and the content throughout the site. So that's
like the sales content you set up or you just sent out. That video was, because look, we open an office, you want to know how, you want to be more than just a loan broker. You actually want to be an office, right? You don't have to actually be a funder, but there's a company out that I was working with, and I kept trying to figure out, well, how did they grow their office to this size? Like, this is where we want to help other SMBs, right? Because my passion is small business owners, right? I like mid-sized, large-sized companies and all those, but I've worked for them for years. So they're fine. I want to work with these guys who are trying to get it to that next level. Okay. And by doing that, we don't want to work onesies, twosies. And, I'm just not the kind of guy that I need, real good leads, but I need to know that I have a system. Right. That's what I'm learning with Funder Intel, is how to actually set the system up from beginning to end, right? All the things we need are right there in that system. That's the education I needed.
Good. Yeah, that was the basically the selling system was the last video that I posted, right? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Right. And then going throughout the whole process, we do, touch on processes and systems. It's, what's going to basically scale, your business to whatever size, right? Okay.
Yes.
Good. So you've kind of gone through it, but you always have access to it. Like we were just talking about, there's gonna be more materials, you go back through it. Is there anything else that sticks out, that you kind of, all right, well, this is the value that I'm definitely going to pass to someone in my office, or, whatever, anything else?
The training, just that complete training platform. Okay. I don't have to train my guys any longer. I just had a guy who, and I almost lost him. I had a guy who came to me and says, "Hey, I want to get started. How do I do this? I have a ton of referrals." We sign up on a consistent basis. We sign up our job. We sign up influencers, right? Okay. So he comes and he says, "Look, I just need to understand how this works." This is before Funder Intel. So I sent him the training that we had, the virtual training. It's like videos, and it's 8 hours a day, 5 days, right? And so it's brutal. So 2 hours into this thing, he calls me up and he's like, "Listen, I'm not going to be able to get anyone to sit down and go through this training, right? There's just no way. There has to be a better way. Let me know when you have something, and I'll be more than happy to sign on with you." And I was defeated. It's like, I have no way. I'm not going to set up my own videos. I have no way to train these guys. So what I find with Funder Intel is I just set the loan brokers up in there, right? Yep. And so I called Van. I said, "Look, Van, here's what we have. Let's sit down. Let's have a meeting." We jumped on Zoom, and I told him, "Look, this is what I have. This is what we can do. Here's how long it takes." He absolutely loved it. He was like, "Now this is the way training should go." Nice. We don't need 8 hours. We don't need 8 hours. And you can pick and choose what part of the training is most pertinent to your referral partners or affiliates. Right. I think that was most valuable. It is one of the most valuable things there. Everything is valuable within Funder Intel, but it is one of the most valuable tools for us, for sure.
Got it. Okay. All right.
As you can see, I can go on and on.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is all, I think it's all great. I mean, obviously, I like to
Yeah,
hear this, but it's,
yeah,
I
yeah,
put a lot of work into it. And so it's good to hear from someone that's gone through it and, that can see the value and that has ways to kind of use it to grow their business. And that's,
yeah.
really what it comes down to is helping others because, like yourself, you like to help business owners. And that's kind of what I'm in it for as well, to help everyone else,
Yes,
whether it be
sir.
brokers, funders, and everyone else in between. I mean, are you full force into alternative loan products now? What is your business like right now?
Oh. We're full force into the education of alternative products,
Okay.
and absolutely finding a way to explain or educate our clients on what these products are, how they could be best utilized, right? Some of the do's and don'ts. And then we're also, of course, you know, all about, getting as many applications as we can per day, out to our funders. But on top of that, we're more full force in creating an environment of education for our SMBs who are part of our company, right? Or a part of our network. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now.
Okay.
Is bringing on. We have another product that we're bringing soon here.
Hmm.
We're actually building out the CRM for it now,
Okay.
and teaching them, okay, now I have the funding, or I've utilized the funding to get me where I need to go. How else can I utilize, some of the resources I have to affect a change in my financial situation? So we're thinking about lifelong goals, right? Like, am I investing in real estate? Am I investing in stocks? Am I buying other businesses? These are the kind of platforms that we have. We have a lot of SMBs. Well, I won't say a lot of SMBs. We have a large amount of clients who entrust us with the education that we're giving out on a daily basis.
Hmm.
And I think
So
that's
so
that's where we
you're
are.
sorry to interrupt. Yeah. So you're
Go for
saying
it.
that you're teaching them the different loan products and what they can be best used for, giving them the knowledge
Yes,
about, right. So that way you can make the informed decision to move
yes,
forward with better. Okay. Got it.
yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like that.
Mean, it's
Yeah,
clear that it seems like a good idea. I mean, unless a business owner understands the product they're getting into, they might not use it the best way, or they can
yeah,
misuse it, right? So they're not taking
yeah.
advantage of, and with
Or
rates getting higher and
yeah, or feel, taken advantage of.
true.
There's still, within the system, and like there's still some things about the system that we have to be aware of. And if the client is not properly educated, then you have more of a risk of those clawbacks, right? And
Absolutely.
that's what you want to defeat. You want, as long as they have the education and know what they're getting themselves into, and you explain the information, then they have enough information to make a good decision, right?
Right. Never
So,
want the clawbacks. Absolutely.
no, no.
Yep.
They'll
Okay.
happen, but we don't want them.
Correct. Yeah. You do whatever you can to help prevent that.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I'll give you this second, before we wrap up. I mean, what would you want if, any business owners are watching right now, tell them where they can find you, and, anything else that you'd like to mention.
They can find us on entrefunding.com. You
That's
can email.
ENTRE funding, right?
Yes, ENTRE funding. We
Okay.
married entrepreneur and funding together and called it entrefunding.
Gotcha.
So
I like it. I like it.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Gimmicky, but yeah, it's cool.
That's all right.
But they can find us there. Give us
Okay.
a call if there's any questions they have. We're more than likely, to answer them the best we can. They mentioned Funder Intel, of course. If we have a product or a service that we could provide, they will get a discount just for mentioning you guys.
Good. Good. Okay. All right. And
Definitely,
I'll drop your
definitely.
email. I'll leave your email down below as well. And
Okay.
that way they make sure they can get in touch with you. All right. Well, listen, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Wonderful conversation with you, and I appreciate the feedback. And we'll definitely talk down the line. Maybe do this again, see where you're
Yes,
at, and
yes,
at some other
yes,
time. Okay. All
yes,
right.
please.
Well, good. Well, I appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
All righty. Thank you.
All right, James.
All right
Thanks.
now.